It's been a little while, but we are back with a Dynasty Trade show looking at your trades that you've submitted to the Flock Fantasy website with our promo code LAND. So we're going to look through at least 10 trades today, and we're going to break them down. So do us a favor, smash that like button. Let's get straight to it. Uptown. Funk you up.
No, Uptown funk you up. Here we go.
12 team. Superflex, 0.5 PPR, 0.5 tight end premium, start 10, also including the starting lineup after the trade. So it looks like he receives Travis Kelce, Josh Allen, Jake Ferguson. He sends away Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, Kyle Pitts, and a second-round pick. This is actually one that we discussed over in the Fantasy Hotline. If you guys don't know, the Fantasy Hotline is a direct DM to Badaki and I, where you can ask us any questions that you have. You can send any trade requests through. Myself and Uptown talked through this trade, for about 30 minutes or so, trying to really wrap my head around his team, his direction, and I felt like this was a very good move for him long term. He's competing. He gets the upgrade at quarterback, and I believe his running backs were strong enough to justify losing Tony Pollard. Again, if you guys want access to the Fantasy Hotline, that is one of the perks of signing up to the Mother Flocker tier with our promo code LAND. But we talked through this trade for quite some time. I don't know if you had a chance to look at that chat or not, Badaki, but what did you think of this? Because this is one that I helped him put together myself.
Yeah, no, I definitely saw it. One of the things I was interested in, a competing standpoint, obviously getting Travis Kelce, but losing Kyle Pitts. I think that is my biggest takeaway here. You're going to an older tight end who is Travis Kelce, someone that is 100% going to help you win, I would say, however long he is going to play. But the biggest question is, how long is he going to play? Because then you look at the future of his tight end position, really just Jake Ferguson, and we only just saw one game from him so far. So, look, I
can't remember the bench tight ends that he has, but I think he has a couple other tight ends on his bench. But
I like this trade. I'm not saying I don't like this trade. I'm just saying I'm interested to see what this is really going to pan out for him in the tight end position, because losing Kyle Pitts, once again, understanding wanting to win now, I wonder what his tight end position is going to look like in a couple years. But he can definitely get one in the draft.
I'm a huge Kyle Pitts guy. I love Kyle Pitts, but I just feel like I think we might be devaluing, potentially, just my opinion, the upgrade of Dak Prescott to Josh Allen there. I feel like if you were to take Dak Prescott and try to upgrade him to Josh Allen with picks, I feel like it would take Dak in like 3 first-round picks in a super flex league. I could be wrong, but that's what I would expect if I had someone like Josh Allen. So I don't know. I feel like we could be undervaluing that part of it, but
yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Like, do you agree with me on that Josh Allen part, or maybe we just saw that one differently then?
No, I definitely understand, but I think the reason why this feels even is because how vital Travis Kelce is. I understand Josh Allen, but I think the other person saying, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to lose Josh Allen, but I get Tony Pollard, who can probably get extended. I'm going to get Kyle Pitts, who he's not going to have to worry about for the next 10 years, however long he's going to play. And Dak Prescott,
quarterback first.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's also the biggest caveat, right? Like week 1, we haven't seen too much from Kyle Pitts in this quarterback play, and what is that going to look like for his future? So I think those are the biggest thing. And Dak Prescott, nowhere near Josh Allen, but at least he's a competent quarterback, and I'm assuming this other team might have another first somewhere.
Fair.
Potentially.
Well, I'd be curious to see what people think in the comments. Let us know down below. I thought this was a slam dunk, but I definitely would love to hear what people's thoughts are for sure.
Yeah.
Be curious to see what the community thinks there. Basie says 10 teams start 9, 1 quarterback, half PPR, wanted a piece of Wilson. Let's see if he can make anything of his opportunity.
Okay.
So he gets Michael Wilson, sends away Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
This is like buying a scratching lotto ticket, and instead of paying with money, you give him like a banana peel or something. It's like, I would like 1 lotto ticket, please. Oh, do you have a used banana peel on you? Yes, here you go. Thank you for your thank you for your service. What am I saying?
Thank you for your service.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your transaction. This is a no-brainer in my opinion.
Nah, I'll absolutely Michael Wilson every single day.
And I would say this is just another sign. Go out and buy Michael Wilson, because you can use your. Okay, I don't want to be disrespectful to Adam Thielen. He's not going to watch the video, obviously, but he's not trash as a person.
Great friend of the,
I'm saying,
as
a player, You use your trash to get, an unknown piece.
Sure. No, that makes sense. Yeah, Michael Wilson, you want the younger piece without a doubt. And whatever that's going to look like with Kyler Murray, if he does play, which we do believe he does play this year.
Maybe he's a Jet. I would love that.
Oh my gosh, let's not even start that.
12 team, start 11. What's up, Goat Rings? Full PPR, 2 quarterback, no tight end premium. Basically a second for a bunch of cloggers. And a bunch of cloggers from Mike Wilson and 2 more cloggers. Sometimes some trades don't need to make sense. Okay. The third will be early. And I also own Burley's first and second. So he gets Michael Wilson, Zach Wilson, Clyde a third, sends away Kenny McIntosh, Devin Singletary, Zach Evans in a second.
Imagine.
So I'll say this.
Okay.
I love Zach Evans. Okay. Love Zach Evans. Still want to stash him on my taxis. But in reality, the only valuable piece that you sent away is the second round pick. Like if we're truly honest. Now with Zach Wilson potentially getting some opportunities.
No doubt about it. I mean,
this feels like worth the trade. Before the Zach Wilson trade, I would be like, I don't really know that I want to do this, but now it feels like there's maybe a potential for this to work out.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, literally 48 hours ago, we would have said, maybe we shouldn't have done this trade. But what's funny is that Zach Wilson is now the starting quarterback for the Jets, which is really unfortunate if you're a Jets fan. And Michael Wilson, kind of like Basie Casey, you're hoping and growing with Michael Wilson and Kyler Murray in this situation. So I'm liking this trade personally. Kenny McIntosh, I literally just dropped in one of my leagues. Devin Singletary didn't have the best first game. Zach Evans, Kyron Williams was the first dude there. So let's see if that changes anything.
Right now it looks like Zach's third at best.
Yeah.
But
anything can happen.
To be fair,
so early.
Cam Akers, if he keeps being this inefficient, I think Zach Evans gets a chance at being in the rotation. So we'll see.
For sure.
Ignite, big trade, 12 team, 1 quarterback, start 9. I had the best wide receivers by a mile, and this pick is projected to be early to mid. Plus, I believe in Olave breakout. Current receivers of note are Chase, Smitty, Olave, London, Jason, and Flowers. So it looks like this is Rowan here. So Rowan sends away CeeDee Lamb, Elijah Mitchell, Tank Dell. In return, gets Chris Olave, Brian Robinson, and a first-round pick that he is projecting will be early to mid. And I can confidently say, I know it's like easy in hindsight, and I think CeeDee Lamb's still going to be incredible for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Most people have him ranked top 3. I'd say right now, without Aaron Rodgers, most people would move Garrett Wilson behind CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb would retake wide receiver 3 in Dynasty in rankings. But even before the season, I would probably take the Olave and early to mid first side of this. That's because of my belief in Olave. He looked fantastic in his first game. Michael Thomas being back does not impact him negatively. And on a per-game basis, a lot of people miss this. On a per-game basis, he was actually better than Garrett Wilson last year in almost every category. So to me, I love this side of the deal. I love the idea of getting a potential future elite asset. Well, I would say Olave is already one of those building blocks, right? And getting another lottery ticket in the first round. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of this deal for Rowan.
Yeah.
Even though, obviously, CeeDee Lamb is the best player in the deal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. CeeDee Lamb is the best player in the deal, but I think the compensation that you're getting back as well, you're still getting a top 12, top 10 dynasty wide receiver in Chris Olave, however you have him ranked, and then a projected mid to late first, or early to mid first, excuse me. So if that is minimum 1.7, I think you can get a really good talented player coming out of the 2024 class. So I'm really confident in this trade. And look, Brian Robinson, not sexy, but it's better than having Elijah Mitchell sitting behind personally CMC. So
I just thought it was funny. Like, what did I joke about the entire offseason? Brian Robinson is going to have games where he gets 20 carries and 60 yards. What did he go do first game? 19 carries, I believe, 56 yards.
Yeah.
I was like, you're going to get the volume, but it's never going to be efficient. Thank God he got the reception in the end zone. But you're right. Like, he's a volume play, for desperate teams, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you like this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Wid Murder, 12 teams, start 10, Superflex PPR. My quarterback room is Deshaun Watson, Kyler Tannehill. I had 7 first-round picks before this deal. Both of those firsts are projected to be late. Dynasty Daddy has them at over 90% playoff likely. I felt like if Stroud has a decent year, he won't be cheaper than this. and I can maybe sell Kyler or the 101 for a lot in the offseason. I have 5 first with 3 to 4 being early. Thoughts on this deal? So he gets CJ Stroud, sends away Aiden O'Connell, and 2 first-round picks. Now, he is projecting those firsts end up being late.
Yeah.
The only way we can really know how this trade is going to pan out is by knowing the draft order for your league. Because if those firsts end up being early, then or even like mid to early, you might have lost this deal. There's just no way for us to really say for sure. But Aki, great example. In a startup a couple of years ago, I went for a win now strategy, sold my future assets, went all in, looked at my team before the season. I thought it was absolutely incredible. I thought I'd be winning the fantasy championship, right? I gave my first round pick to who? I gave my first round pick to Badaki in the startup draft. And what did that first round pick end up being? All the players on my team got injured.
Yep. Every single one.
Everyone underperformed.
Yep. Every single one.
Major injuries across the board. And Badaki ended up with the first overall pick in the draft, the 101, baby. And I looked like a freaking idiot. So that's why I'm saying we can't say right now who wins this deal because we have no idea how the year pans out.
I completely agree. I mean, 2 seconds. I would hope one day, I really hope and project that CJ Stroud it is going to be worth 2 seconds. He's been a guy that I love coming out of college this whole time. We just don't know the answer. So what I will do when you see this video, put it in your notes somewhere, save this screenshot, and then resubmit it with your draft order in a couple months from now. Because that is the best way we're going to help you. And maybe you're not going to want to submit it because these might be too early first, or maybe you'd be really excited to submit it. Yeah. And they're too late first, and you're saying, what did I tell you? So
let's look at it from this perspective, Badaki. If that is indeed too late first, let's say that is the 110, the 111, or the 110, the 112, right? Let's go ahead and play out the scenario that it will be that. If that's the case, I do want CJ Stroud here.
Yes. I think it just depends on how good
There's just a lot of variance.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I would want CJ Stroud there, but how did he perform? Does he look really bad?
Without knowing, I'm saying without knowing,
absolutely, 100%. Without knowing week 1,
right?
Yes, I'm taking this right now. But yeah, there is a lot of different ways this can pan out. Does he have a Zach Wilson type of season, and like in his rookie season, or does he have a good? I don't know. I'm trying to think of a rookie quarterback who had a decent year. Anyway,
Justin Herbert?
Yeah, Justin Herbert. I mean, that's like exceeding expectations.
Joey B?
Yeah, right. Joey Burrow, Kyler Murray, just a decent rookie season. How does he perform? And I think that is going to be the biggest play.
I think you just need signs that he is, and flashes that he will be good. Like, for example, Trevor Lawrence, his rookie year, he looked atrocious. Wasn't really anything around him, remember? And we kept talking the entire offseason going into his second year, buy him. You just need to see flashes because it's not a very good team around CJ.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, GOAT is back. Just a little sum before the season kicks off. 12 teams, start 11, full PPR, no tight end premium. Had Pitts, Andrews, Johnson, Laporta, and was looking to add some running back depth. I'll pay a third for Tillman. That second is projected mid. So he gets Tillman and Rachaad White, sends away Juwan Johnson a third and a second. I care more about getting Rachaad White for a second. Agree. That's the kind of deal that I've been trying to do in my leagues the entire offseason. Getting a starting running back for a mid-second. Now, I understand that Rachaad White was extremely inefficient in his first game. What is good to see is that only Josh Jacobs had a larger, dominating rushing share in his backfield, snap share in his backfield than Rachaad White in week 1. I think it will get better. He has a much better matchup here in week 2. Maybe I'll eat crow if he does bad in week 2, but I think he will be better, and it's good that the volume is all his. So to send us a random second for a Rachaad White, who is a starting guy, I care more about that than the Tillman side personally.
Yeah, no, completely agree. I mean, Rachaad White is a must-start coming into week 2, so I'm really excited for Rachaad White. I in this trade, I do want Rachaad White. I'll send a second away for Rachaad White if I had it and had the opportunity. But yeah, he is the lead back coming in this season. Sean Tucker and Chase Edmonds is behind him, so I don't really see him taking a step back, at least this year. Let's see what happens next year. So I'm really confident in this one.
And You know, there's this notion going around, and I guess it is possible. There's this notion going around Twitter that Sean Tucker's going to take the job because he has opportunity already.
Look,
Someone had to get the backup role, right? Like
Yeah,
someone
someone
had
had
to relieve Rashad White. He wasn't going to play 100% of snaps and get 100% of the touches there. So and even Sean Tucker wasn't efficient in his first game.
oh
So
no, I mean, it just
look, it is possible that he takes a job, but right now I feel like the more important sign to look at is the amount of trust they had with him in week 1, even though
Yeah.
it didn't work out, but they did win. They did win the game.
Yeah, they did win the game, and that's fine. You know, and the Bears gave up, I think, the third most fantasy points to the running back position. And we saw what Aaron Jones did this past week, and that's going to continue. Well, you hope that continues going into week 2 against Rashad
I would
White.
say
So,
even if Rashad gets like 60% of that, then I would be really happy.
yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. So, and look, Sean Tucker is talented. I'm a big Sean Tucker guy.
Yeah,
I was
he is,
really
for sure.
hoping that he would get drafted, but just wasn't the case with his injury. So, I do like this trade though. Overall, 7 goats. It's a good trade.
Yeah. Okay, he has another one. 10-team full PPR start 11 for IDP, half tight and premium, so 1.5. The first is mid. The seconds are projected late. What are we thinking? So he gets Rashawn Johnson, or as we call him, Roscoe
Roscoe.
Jones. Do we call him Roscoe Jones or Roscoe?
I
Roscoe,
call him.
right?
I say Big Ol' Roscoe. I've never said Roscoe Jones, but
I'm just adding things now.
Yeah.
So he gets Rashawn Johnson, Roscoe, Dalton Kincaid, Brees Hall, a first. So wait, what the fuck? Sorry, excuse my
well, I
language.
mean, this is a family-friendly video, brother. I mean, what was that?
I'm so sorry.
Jokes.
I'm so sorry.
Look, I think this trade wins.
Can someone check in on Burley?
Yeah, I mean, you okay? As much as I love James Cook, I ain't doing this. I'm getting Brees Hall, top 5 talent. Who, by the way, my man was out of shape, but had 10 carries for over 120 yards.
He looked incredible.
It was-
Didn't have the long run speed yet, but he looked
He
incredible.
looked phenomenal. Roscoe, didn't he finish as a top 10 running back this week, getting peppered with targets
Bro.
in the backfield?
What's going on with this trade, dude?
This is, and I'm pretty sure he's traded with Burley. We've seen multiple trades with Burley before in 7 goats. Maybe
How this is the heist of the year, maybe. I mean, even if you're in a super flex league, you have to be a Falcons fan or a Bills fan to make this deal.
I don't.
And it's a tight end premium league.
Does he think that this is a rookie dynasty player? He's seeing these players. He's
Has
like,
to be.
You have to see this player. Roscoe. I mean, isn't Khalil Herbert the number 1 guy? Isn't Deontay Foreman on
Right.
that team? I don't see any value. Dalton Kincaid behind Dawson Knox, who
Brees Hall's, his knee injury, he's not valuable anymore.
yeah, exactly. He's not valuable anymore. James Cook, once again, probably a Bills fan or a Falcons fan, gets James Cook, gets Desmond Ridder, who's a starting quarterback, to probably one of his favorite teams. And then Chase Brown, I doubt he even know who Chase Brown is. He was like, I don't know who this is, but let's see what happens. That's what I see.
Yeah. Apologize for the profanity. I am truly confused.
Nah, that's all
like
good.
this is one of those we don't do vetoes ever, Badaki. We don't do vetoes in our leagues. Like everyone's a grown man, they can make their decision, or a grown woman. But if this came through on my league chat, I would be like, "What is this?"
I think our own
I want to know what the league chat said.
the
after
league
that.
chat probably said, yeah, let us know the 7 goats, but our league chat would have been up in flames. No matter what league that is. I mean, it could be all of them. So very
Jordan
interesting.
R 10-team. Sorry, 1 quarterback start 10 standard PPR, no tight end premium. What are we thinking? He just lost Dobbins and offered me this. I'm the team on top. So you get a third and a second for Khalil Herbert. I don't think. I mean, there was a narrative out there that maybe Herbert ends up being worth a first in season. I know it's early, and I think we do need to limit our expectations for Rashawn slightly.
I think so as well.
What I've been saying throughout the entire offseason, and you as well, Badaki, is towards the end of the year, I would not be shocked at all if Rashawn Johnson takes over that backfield.
Yeah.
Would not be surprised at all. However, I don't know that it just happens straight away like some people are saying because of week 1 usage. The context with the week 1 usage is, yes, Rashawn, was dominating that backfield, but he didn't actually play until the 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
Right? Herbert and Deonta Foreman dominated touches in the first half. We don't know why in the third quarter they decided to just roll with Rashawn. Maybe they were let's see what he's got, and
they were down often.
Maybe it's a sign of things to come.
Yeah.
But
I think
regardless, I don't think that you get more than a second and a third for Herbert this year. I don't know that happens.
Yeah, and
I like it.
I just think that they were down often, or they were down early, and they didn't want to run the ball. They just resorted in throwing almost every single pass or every single play, and Justin Fields started to dump the ball off, and they were trying to play from behind. And that just wasn't the case. But if they do get into a lead, obviously Khalil Herbert could be the guy here. I think it's just based off scenario, based off game situation there. So it's interesting to see what that's going to look like. But do I like this trade? I think I'm okay getting a second for Herbert. I feel like that 26 seconds just feels a while away. But I think the value for Herbert as a second, I think it's good right now, personally.
Yeah. I mean, if that usage continues into week 2 and 3, then there's no way you're getting a second round pick for Khalil.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And we do believe at some point it will be that way. We're just not saying it might not be straight away. What's up, D? I don't know why it won't show me your name.
It's Dogs.
Sometimes, man.
Dogzo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dogzo. For some users, it only shows like the first initial. Anyway.
Yeah, some.
12-team Superflex start 11, 0.25 points per carry. Gets Brian Robinson and sends away Dobbins and a second. Okay. Here's what I will say, because I'm glad we finally have a J.K. Dobbins trade to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I unfortunately wholeheartedly believe, and I have, Dobbins in 4 Dynasty leagues, that I believe that it's over for J.K. Dobbins. I don't believe there is any coming back from this in the sense of being a relevant Dynasty running back. I don't think there's any way getting past. You have the 2 worst name 2 injuries that you could put at the top of your list saying worst injuries for a running back, right?
Gosh, that's
torn
terrible.
ACL and your entire knee, actually. It's not just your ACL, is completely messed up.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, the next season, clean it out. You're not the same player. Finally, you come back and you go from having the second worst injury to the first worst injury for running backs for Dynasty with an Achilles tear. I think J.K. Dobbins is dead for
Fantasy,
Dynasty purposes.
Yeah, Dynasty.
I think he's a great person. I wish him the best, and I hate that this happened. I wanted to see him do well, and he looked incredible before he was injured.
He was getting work, man, yeah.
However, we have to keep in mind that I don't think Dobbins has really any value at all. So I'm kind of looking at this as like a second, and like, is Dobbins worth a 3rd round pick maybe? So like a second and a third for Brian?
I think getting a second for Brian Robinson is a lot as is, personally.
But you have to keep in mind that the format is 0.25 points per carry. So quick maths would say that just in the first week alone, Brian Robinson had an extra almost 5 points just because of what the amount of attempts that he had.
Yeah, so Brian Robinson is definitely more valuable in a league, especially with his attempts on the ground. So, yeah, I would say this does make sense. J.K. Dobbins, I mean, people already send me, I have J.K. Dobbins in multiple leagues. They send me, third. They send me a third for J.K.
Yeah.
I got one that sent me a 4th. It's either you keep him or you just roll with a 3rd or 4th round pick and see what happens. It's tough, but I'm okay with Brian Robinson here. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think so too. I feel like you're paying top dollar for Brian Robinson here, but I think with the format and the premium on per carry, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, I like it considering that. All right, what's up, Sam? 12-team Superflex PPR. I'm not a contender, so I sold Matt Stafford for a second. I have 2 firsts, 4 seconds in the 24 draft. Hoping to build around Fields, Stroud, CD, Hollywood, Dotson, and Mayer. Guessing the second will be 206 to 210 range. So, sells Matt Stafford, gets a second in return. I don't mind this deal, but if it's 206 to 210, I mean, yeah, would you really get more for Stafford than that? Probably not.
That's the thing. You probably won't. I mean, I don't even think if he wins the Super Bowl again, if he has a phenomenal season and wins the Super Bowl, anyone's going to want to pay a first for Matthew Stafford.
A first, no. But
I mean, you could
earlier second,
an earlier second, yes, but I mean, you have to wait until that, and that could be a chance where it's not like this could be an early second for Matthew Stafford. Look, he had a decent week 1. I'm okay getting the second for Matthew Stafford, especially if I'm not going to, if I'm rebuilding. He says I'm not a contender. So if I'm not a contender, then I'll take a second for Matthew Stafford, who I don't really need.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine compensation. I think it's even. It's a pretty even deal there. But that is it for today, guys. Thanks for watching the show. Again, if you want your trades on the show, super simple. All you need to do is sign up to the Mother Flocker tier with our promo code LAND on the Flock Fantasy website. Check out the pinned comment down below. Drop a like for us. Subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon. All love. Now that those idiots are done talking, who needs some rankings?
Hell yeah, I need some rankings.
Then use promo code LAND, LAND, for 30% off any membership at flockfantasy.com.
Oh.
It's so easy, even your grandma could scan that QR code right there.